Welcome everybody to Psych Your Mind. My name is Alex and this is my first video on this channel. I will be sharing with you guys videos that I have found on the internet that I believe are interesting, I think are interesting to me, and I believe will be interested to you. And if you obviously your first time, I would appreciate if you guys subscribe, hit the like, and maybe share this video. And remember that these videos are for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research to figure out if it's true or false. But like I said, they're just videos that I find interesting, that I believe that you might find interesting. So open your mind and join me along for the ride. Let's go.
Don't y'all just feel like it's something off going on? Listen to this shit, yo.
I've been a loyal supporter of the president for almost 20 years. This goes back to when I was 21 years old and I was Miss California at the Miss USA pageant. And I've known him, I consider him a dear friend, and I will tell you right now, I do not recognize our president. I think that we are an occupied nation. I think that a foreign country has occupied our government, and we are seeing now that this president of the United States of America is being influenced by a foreign government. And MAGA, let me tell you right now, MAGA is dead. It is deader than dead, and Americans are furious. We do not recognize President Donald J. Trump anymore.
Y'all, I'm getting an extreme weird feeling, bro. Especially because I played Call of Duty, right? I know this is a little off track, but in the game, they told us that some shit was gonna happen. Hold on. Do y'all remember this movie? Or how about this one? Does anybody remember this card from the Illuminati card game? I really think that we really gotta start paying attention very soon, bro. Or it might be our ass. Oh my god!
And I'm Roxy. What a night in Hollywood. The stars are shining, and some of those stars are going home with Oscar gold. We want to start with some of the night's big winners, starting with Best Picture.
All right, guys. Why do we have a courthouse in Texas handing out pamphlets on zombie attacks? As you can see here, someone that has walked in to a courthouse in Burleson, Texas, sees these zombie attack preparedness pamphlets for the people to take. This goes over evacuation routes, emergency survival plans, long-term supply checklists. It has all kinds of instructions in here telling you you better be better safe than sorry. And they have put this out there in the open. It even has a line saying that when zombies are hungry, they won't stop. And this is being put out in courthouses. This is real deal. Are you guys seeing anything like this out there in your neck of the woods? This reminds me of several different things in the past we covered. And you talk about hiding something in plain sight, that seems to be exactly what they're doing here right now. Remember when Amazon updated its terms of service? What was in it? Zombie attack, to be ready for a zombie apocalypse event. We questioned it then. Why are they doing something like this that seems like a joke, but it's not a joke? Well, here again, in a public courthouse in Texas, they've stocked the bin over here with this, and it's very serious. They're not putting it out as a joke. It's on the serious tip. Are you guys...
Here's where it gets interesting. We now have research notes from a top U.S. scientist who is intimately familiar with a zombie infection. He studied both the pre- and post-mortem zombie condition before PD. He has identified and named the virus, Cryptonecrophagia vulgaris, CNV. It's a retrovirus, and there's no cure. This scientist notes indicate prions may also be involved in the infectious process. However, at this point it remains unclear what, if any, role they play. Remember the single life subject I mentioned earlier? Unfortunately, the subject and scientist are one and the same. We do not know how much time he has left before he's no longer of any use, except perhaps for dissection. So we need more live specimens. Keep that in mind during operations. Problem number 4. Mode of transmission, currently unknown. Transmission modes ruled out: bites, scratches, casual contact, vector infection, droplet, or airborne spread. Some Z team members can attest to the fact that bites and scratches don't spread infection, at least not yet. To date, 12 team members have been wounded while engaged in field operations. They've undergone mandatory 90-day quarantine. None have showed any signs of infection. Not all team members are out of quarantine yet, but we hope they'll be released and return to active duty soon. Problem number 5. Emerging public awareness of the situation. I'm going to mention each of these points, then talk about them in greater detail. There are things you need to know. First, the Coconut Grove fly-in. Many of you were there. Then there's the Miami incident. Some of you were there. The CDC Zombie Apocalypse Preparedness Release. DHS released a fake zombie preparedness story. Then there's the recent purchases of large quantities of ammunition. About the Coconut Grove fly-in, Z Teams 1, 2, and 3 cleaned down a zombie cell. That got a lot of public attention. Our cover story was that this was an urban assault exercise in preparation for the upcoming UN meeting. For now, our cover story is holding, but one got away. That led to the Miami incident. That should never have happened. About the Miami incident. Some of you were there. Our cover story was bath salts. That was blown when the autopsy results were leaked. There were no bath salts present. We're still dealing with the fallout, and we're investigating the leak.
I asked God, I said, God, why children? And this is 4 o'clock in the morning, and God hits me with this wave, and God says, I want you to see why. And it's a battle of potential. And I want you to hear what God said to me. He said, Yakub, when I cast Lucifer out of heaven with a third of the angels, he knows that the redemption of my son Jesus Christ, the blood of my son, does not cover him. He can never return. There is a hatred that we can't fathom for your child.
Yes.
From Satan. Why? Because even if your child stumbles, even if your child falls, even if your child departs like the prodigal son and go eat with the swine, when your child decides to return to the Lord, there'll be a robe and a ring, and your child will be adopted into the kingdom of heaven, and Satan can never go back.
Yeah.
He can never Christ did not die for Lucifer. He did not cover Lucifer. And there's a hatred for the offspring, enmity with God. There's a hatred that our sons and daughters could choose Jesus and be adopted back to the table which Lucifer once sat at.
Blasphemy is impossible because nobody knows God's name. God's ineffable name refers to the Hebrew tetragrammaton, or Yahweh, deemed too sacred to pronounce, leading to the loss of its original vocalization. The 4 consonants, often rendered as Yahweh or Jehovah, represent a personal, intimate name for the divine that was concealed to prevent misuse and honor its absolute sanctity. So what does ineffable mean? Ineffable describes something too great, intense, or sacred to be expressed in words. It means indescribable, unutterable, or beyond expression. God's specific personal name, the Tetragrammaton, appears over 6,800 times in the original Hebrew Old Testament, often translated as simply Lord in English. So what does Tetragrammaton even mean? Tetragrammaton is a Greek word meaning the 4-lettered name, representing the name of God in Hebrew. Tetra meaning 4, gram meaning grammar or letters, and Atan. Aten or Atan was the ancient Egyptian sun disk deity central to the radical near monotheistic religious reform instituted by Pharaoh Akhenaten or Akhenaton. Pharaoh Akhenaten is widely considered the first recorded individual to introduce a form of monotheism by elevating the sun disk, Aten, as the sole deity. He abolished the worship of other gods, Ma'at, Thoth, Osiris, Set, Ra, Isis, the whole gang. According to the 10th century alphabet of Ben Sirah, Lilith is unique for uttering the ineffable name of God, which empowered her to fly away from Adam and the Garden of Eden. She is portrayed as a knower of secret wisdom rather than a disobedient subordinate.
Taking the Lord's name in vain, using God's name flippantly, disrespectfully, or as a curse word is widely considered a form of blasphemy and a violation of the third commandment. It is seen as treating God's name with contempt, robbing it of holiness rather than showing reverence. So this is the Lord's Prayer according to Matthew 6:9-13. Jesus says, "Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name." Hallow means holy, the same as Halloween. You shouldn't dress your children up as monsters. Dressing children as saints this Halloween offers several clarifying benefits.
Why are we not talking about this? Take a look.
Everybody on Earth, including your dogs and cats, will always be exposed to and possibly contract any of the 4 major known causes of parasite infections. These are known as tapeworms. Those are the big ones you see being pulled out by the feet. And then you've got roundworms, which are the smaller ones you know from your dogs and cats, called heartworms. And yes, human beings get heartworms from every dog and cat they own. In fact, parasitologists around the world say 100% of pet owners have parasites. These are people that specialize in parasites. And then protozoa and flukes. And there are all natural cures found in plants around the world that cure all 4 of the major types of parasites, including protozoa and flukes. So yes, there are answers for all of them.
What are those cures?
Awesome. Well, let's reference first an incredible scientist out of Canada named Helda Clark. She has a book published, you can get it on Amazon, titled All Cures for Cancer. She cured in less than 5 days, Shemaine, 100 different patients' cancers by treating them with just 3 natural herbal products. One was red clover, the other is green walnut hull extract, and then sweet wormwood, which is actually an herb that has the exact same actions as ivermectin, which is a prescription medication. And she used those 3 in combination to cure 100 different cancers in less than 3
Iran is holding a Stargate that could literally change Earth's future, and nobody's been talking about it until now. This is more than just politics, because Iran sits on Stargate 10, a pre-energetic portal once used to anchor eternal life energy into Mother Earth's body. For thousands of years, it's been hijacked by fallen forces who've sent frequencies through it to trap the solar masculine and suppress the divine feminine voice. The people and voices rising up right now, they're not just protesters, they are souls who are awakening. And every single chant is cracking open dormant gateways buried in their DNA and in the land itself. You see, if the Abadan gate reopens and distortion is cleared over Iran, a dormant energy current could flood into Mother Earth's planetary grid, reconnecting Persia to the eternal flame template. This was free Iran. It could shift Mother Earth's entire energetic grid. Stargate 10 and the Middle East has been fought over in the invisible world for centuries. It's not just for oil. It's a very valuable piece of real estate, and the time has come to restore it.
Israel is not a Jewish word. Israel has nothing whatsoever to do with the country in the Middle East. The word Israel is in 3 parts. It's an Egyptian word. It is I-S-R-A-E-L. Okay? The I-S is the goddess Isis, which is the spirit, the feminine principle in the body. The R-A is the mind. And the E-L is the God impulse in you. Okay? That's what it means. And basically, Israel means when there is a harmony between your spirit and your mind, then there is God in you. That's what Israel means. It's an Egyptian word, and it comes from those 3 gods of Egypt. Do you understand it? Now, you see this E-L? That means the God impulse in you. That's what we call an angel. You notice the word angel ends in E-L? Because it's the God impulse in you. Is that gives you that good idea? Oh, I finally remembered what I'm supposed to do. That's an angel. That's an impulse that comes from your higher mind, from the electromagnetic field of the right hemisphere. That's why all of the angels' names end in E-L. Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel, Michael, etc. Okay? And that's all it's talking about. So if we come back, then when it says that there will be Russia or Rosh coming down to attack Israel. It means the emotions come down to attack that which is the spirit and mind and that which is the godliness within you. And here will come then the fire from heaven, which means the impulses will come, the spiritual impulses will come from the higher consciousness down to destroy all of those things that are coming against you.
Stop talking. The words coming out of your mouth right now aren't tools for communication. They're blindfolds. You think you're speaking English, but you're actually trapped inside a dead language designed to keep you from hearing the living pulse of the world. The ancients knew the way out. They called it the language of the birds. Let's talk about it. The language of the birds, langue des oiseaux in French alchemy, Lashon HaTziporim in Kabbalah, and Vitan in Norse mysticism, is the divine language underlying all human tongues. Not a constructed language and not a cipher either. It's a living frequency system that material human languages are pale, degraded echoes of. The Sufis called it Mantik al-Ta'ir, or the conference of the birds. This is the soul's journey toward union with the divine through recovery of the original tongue. The Hermetic tradition described it as the language spoken before Babel, before the divine tongue shattered into the multiplicity of human languages that replaced unity with division. Oh yeah, and if you're interested in learning more about alchemy and other mystery traditions like Kabbalah, Rosicrucianism, and Gnosticism, it's going to be a little tough because we already sent out invites to everyone who is interested in the inner sanctum. But if you are interested, leave a comment below with the word sanctum. I'll try to send you a message with some information and get you on the list for the next wave of invites. In Kabbalistic tradition, Hebrew letters are not symbols representing sounds. They're sounds that are reality. Each one a specific vibrational signature of a divine creative act. The Sefer Yetzirah describes God creating the universe through the combination and permutation of the 22 Hebrew letters. Not metaphor, but literal mechanics. The language of the birds in the Kabbalistic framework is the ability to perceive the letter combinations that are underlying all physical phenomena directly, to read the vibrational text the material world is written in. The mystic who recovers this doesn't see a tree. They see the divine letter sequence sustaining it in existence at every moment. Now let's talk France for a minute. The French alchemists used the language of the birds as a deliberate encoding system, embedding transmissions in plain sight through phonetic wordplay and sonic layering that gave their text two simultaneous meanings, one for the uninitiated and one for the ear trained to hear the second layer. Now Fulcanelli, the mysterious 20th century alchemist whose identity was never truly established, demonstrated that the Gothic cathedrals of France were three-dimensional texts written in the language of the birds. Stone carvings, geometric proportions, placement of figures, all encoding alchemical transmissions the church couldn't read. The church commissioned the buildings. The builders encoded something inside them that their patrons were entirely blind to. He called it Go, or the green language, the living language, the secret tongue shared by initiates across all traditions. And there's real physics that underlies this too. Every tradition working with the language of the birds understood what quantum field theory is only beginning to articulate. Matter is not primary. Vibration is primary. The physical world is the stable interference pattern of underlying frequencies, and sacred language operating at the correct vibrational register interacts with all of those frequencies directly. This is why sacred sound appears in every initiatory lineage as the primary technology of transformation. Vedic mantra, Gnostic vowel sequences, the Jesus prayer, Hebrew letter combination.
In the beginning God created the heavens, and the earth, the earth.
And God said, "Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters." And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven.
The one who builds his upper chambers in the heavens and has founded his vaulted dome over the earth, vaulted dome over the earth. Praise him, highest heavens, and the waters that are above the heavens.
We have Christians talking about Christ, having no idea in the world what the word Christ means. Christ comes from a Greek word Christos, which gives us Pillsbury Crisco. Crisco is a cooking oil. That's what Christos or Christ means, oil. Therefore, Jesus the Christ is Jesus the oil, Jesus the Christos. Why is Jesus called the Christ? They will tell you because he was the anointed. Why? Because even in the British tradition today, the king and queen is anointed in the head with holy oil.
In the center of that brain is a thing called colostrum. And it makes the oil come down into your body. And that oil goes all through your body, and it is the oil of life. It's called chrism. The chrism comes down from heaven, and when you meditate, you raise it back up to the Father's house. And the colostrum is the gift of life, and when it comes in, a mother breastfeeds, and they call the breast milk colostrum. And the ancients knew it was the gift of life that came down from that higher part of the brain, and so the ancients called it the holy claustrum, the saint claustrum. And then it began to become abbreviated. It was the Holy Claus, it was the Saint Claus, and it became the Santa Claus bringing gifts from the North Pole. Down the chimney, down the spine comes the gift of life.
When the moon is in the sun sign that you were born under, new blood is generated in the body. In order to regenerate and produce new blood, the oil must be raised to the optic thalamus. This is a sacred secret, simply because the secretion which comes from the sacral plexus is one of the most important things that we need to know for physiological regeneration.
Your brain produces monthly a substance that the Vatican calls holy chrism in secret rituals. You waste it without knowing. The same precious oil that your pineal and pituitary glands secrete.
Golgotha means place of the skull, and it's not a hill in Jerusalem. It's the base of your skull where the optic nerves cross.
The bread and wine of communion, metaphors for this sacred secretion from your body, which they replaced with crackers and juice. Constantine changed the original lunar calendar. Result, you never get the timing of your sacred cycles right. While popes fast during the correct lunar periods, you pay tithes, thinking you need a priest to talk to God. The illumination you beg for on your knees is being produced right now in your head.
Sacred oil is released from the brain. It flows down the spine to the sacrum. This oil must be preserved. That means avoiding acidic foods and retaining your sexual energy to allow the oil called Christ or chrism to rise up the 33 vertebrae to the brain or heaven. This is symbolized by Santa going down the chimney. That's why Christ lived 33 years and was crucified at Golgotha, the place of the skull. It's all symbolic. Christ coming down from heaven is the oil descending into the body. His death and resurrection after 3 days represent the activation of divine energy within you. When the chrism oil rises and activates your full potential, you begin to use 100% of your brain, and your mind becomes a powerful creative force. Because everything you experience in this life starts as a thought. So guard your thoughts. They become your words. Guard your words. They become your actions. And your actions, they shape your reality.
Well, that is all for today, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed the videos that you guys seen today. Hit the like and subscribe if you guys did, and maybe share this video with any of your friends. And I would like to thank you for joining me along on the ride, and open your mind. See you on the flip side.